Hey everyone, I'm Rob Scott from UC Today, and we're bringing you all the news and conversation from the unified communications and collaboration space. So today I'm joined by Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise and Omdia, and we're going to be discussing communicating in the digital age and how enterprises can best prepare themselves. So welcome everybody.
Hello, Rob.
Hi,
Hello,
Rob.
everybody.
I'm really looking forward to today's session. So just before we get started, however, how about we just do a quick round of introductions? And Xavier, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rob. So I'm Xavier Martin. I'm French, as you can hear. I'm in charge of solution marketing for communication solutions at Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise.
Thanks. And Sam?
So I'm Sam Tourbot. I'm French as well, as you can see, and I'm leading the cloud business engine for Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise.
Great, thanks. And Tim?
Hi Rob, I'm Tim Banting. I'm the practice leader for digital workplace at Omdia.
Fantastic, thank you. So today's session, probably the best place to start. Maybe Xavier, take this one first, if you don't mind. What's the current state of digital transformation in the enterprise?
Digital transformation is a vast topic. First of all, it's not new. I think that digital transformation has been initiated more than 10 years ago, fueled by the need of organizations to provide mobile solutions to their employees and customers. So it started with what we used to call a mobile UC, but mobile UC was built from the existing communication servers, and we have seen the limits during the recent pandemic. So what we have been through during the two past years has definitely accelerated the shift towards something new. I would say a second phase of digital transformation, more towards keeping the social link between employees and customers, and this is why we have witnessed the advent of cloud-based conferencing services, and definitely has changed the landscape of digital transformation. So from pure mobile needs, we have turned into something which was more towards the social and the cloud. What we are seeing now is that most of the organizations have put in place conferencing services from the cloud, very often driven by demand from users. So there is some I would say, work to do to prevent organizations from this shadow IT and shadow cloud services brought by users. So they need to do some homework to kind of rationalize the use of cloud-based conferencing services at the moment. But I would say that conferencing services from the cloud has become a no-brainer now for most of the organization, public and private. The next challenge will be to reconcile the IT applications and business processes together with these communication services to bring some information on top of these conversations. And it is probably the next phase of the digital transformation, bring information on top of these, would say, social/collaboration services used by the and the customers. So what I'm anticipating as far as digital transformation.
Thanks for that, Xavier. And Tim, what are you seeing from your perspective?
Sure. So a lot of what Xavier's, I believe entirely Xavier is completely correct. A lot of focus on mobility, a lot about workflow. But I think pre-pandemic, the focus really was more around customer journey and customer experience. And I think what we found was that COVID-19 dramatically accelerated digital transformation in enterprises. And it also highlighted the need to consider the employee experience and the user experience. So we see digital transformation as consisting of three elements, really. The first is the customer journey or the customer experience. The second is the employee experience. and the third is the user experience. So that's where we sort of see the likes of mobile coming into play, where perhaps IT departments haven't really considered the needs of their workers in the way that they should do. And that's sort of backed up by our Future of Work survey, which we concluded in May of this year, where we found out that 45% of IT departments determine the needs of the business and make the final recommendation. And yet of those 45% of the IT departments, 42% say that the biggest barrier to adoption is employee resistance to change. So there's a disconnect there. We feel that the biggest problem is that IT departments make this unilateral buying decision without recognizing the needs of the business and the needs of the users. So there seems to be more of a focus now on what each user needs or what each department needs. And as Xavier puts quite well, there's going to be a mobility element. You know, we found out that 23% of businesses during the pandemic, their business continuity plans didn't incorporate part of that remote working element. We've seen that frontline workers, there's more of an emphasis on those skills and those employees and bringing them into the organization and being more inclusive. So it's a combination of all of that. It's recognizing that users know their needs the best, and therefore IT really needs to have more of a consultancy approach and more of a democratic approach to the procurement of their technology.
That's really interesting, Tim. Yeah, thanks for that. I mean, I like the personalization piece. I think that's really important, isn't it? I certainly agree with that.
Yeah.
Sam, from your perspective, you know, what challenges are enterprises facing in 2021, and you know, how can they best prepare themselves?
Yeah, so the enterprise, they need to address to the new way people are now collaborating. So people are remote, they are on the go to meet with customer, or they are at the office. So the place of the physical office by itself is also evolving. So it is now a collaborative place, or what we call an hybrid workplace. So we can see three types of challenges. The first one is about the security, and Tim was referring to the IT department. So the security is really important in order to ensure the business continuity and at the same time to deliver the best experience for the employee. And those employees, they are exchanging some information, and this information are critical for the organization. The second challenge is how we address the increasing demand of the employee for the mobility, for the flexibility, and to allow them to access the information anywhere at any time. And last but not least, it is about how we federate the existing asset. So a lot of our customers today, they have invested in terms of solution, such as the communication solution. So how we federate this solution with a new type of services, such as collaboration, over the top of this existing asset. So security, best experience for the user, and how to leverage the existing investment of our customer. Those are the three main challenges that we need to address to our customer.
That's good. Any thoughts on that, Tim?
Yeah, I completely concur. Absolutely. Security is top of mind. And while there has been quite an emphasis on where we will work, whether or not that's an argument between we're all going to go back into the office or we're all going to stay remotely or we're all going to have a mixture of two, security, regardless, is top of mind. But I think that we don't need to only think about where we work, it's how we work and what we need to work more efficiently. I think I'm lucky enough to be represent a team of very talented analysts. I feel that my role is to reduce their barriers in doing their best work. So if they need a professional high-end webcams that they can work remotely and promote our brand effectively, then that's what they need. Unfortunately, too many IT departments think that everyone must have this sort of phone, this sort of laptop and access to these applications. And I think, as Xavier said previously, this sort of shadow IT is users actually just picking the tools that they need themselves. And it's flown under the radar of IT departments. So, of course, that creates a security risk. And that's the reason why IT departments need to work closer in a more democratized approach to the technologies they procure and the services they procure for their users.
That's good. And Sam, just jumping back to you again for a second. I mean, is cloud, the only option for communicating in the digital age? Because everything's changed, it seems. So is cloud the only option?
So definitively not the only option. So we consider there is three type of approach. There is a private, there is the hybrid, and there is the public. So what we are observing is that some customers are very sensitive to the integrity of the data and the information exchange between their employee. So they will definitively look for a private approach, either on-premises dedicated solution or into their private data center. Some customers are willing to consume some non-critical services directly from the cloud, but at the same time to keep some of their critical data in their premises. So the hybrid approach is very efficient in here. And then you have some other type of customers. They are ready to do their own transformation, and then they will adopt very quickly a public cloud approach. What is also important is what we observe is that depending on which industry our customers are playing today, let's say healthcare or public government, they will be very sensitive to the data, while some other industries such as hospitality or education, they are willing to move quickly into a cloud. So their path to the transformation will be much quicker than the other one.
Tim, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, you work with a lot of enterprises. Are they all moving to the cloud, or are they taking stepping stones?
Some are, some aren't. Some are certainly taking stepping stones, and it almost feels that you don't want to, if you've made an investment in premise-based equipment, you don't want to throw all of that significant investment away. I think there's some departments where some of their applications, for example, can't be secured in the cloud, and therefore they need to work in a physical office. And therefore, does it make any sense to have cloud-based communications and unified communications? Maybe not. Maybe they do need desk phones or a range of devices that they can have in the office. Some people would like to go back into the office. Some people prefer to work remotely. So it's all about that flexibility. And I think that hybrid approach, leveraging the premise-based equipment that you might have, or leveraging some of that for specific departments or individuals, or certain functions, and then providing that cloud-based capability, the flexibility and the agility that you'd need, and business continuity during these times of crises. I think a mixture of all of those is a very well-balanced approach to IT.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm really picking up this kind of theme of security's, a top priority here, and that flexibility piece as well. And moving nicely on to Xavier for this one. I mean, in terms of how Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise are helping their customers kind of meet this challenge, can you kind of expand a little bit on kind of your solutions and how you're working with customers?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rob. So to meet the needs of the communications in the digital age, we are going through three main directions. The first one is to help organizations, public and private, of any size, put in place what we call the digital workplace, or enabling their employees, as say the team, to work from anywhere, remotely, home working, or even at the office, because the office is no longer a location. And we need to make sure that everybody understands this. Services need to be accessible from anywhere, anytime, from any device. So digital workplace, as Tim and Sam said, is the ability to provide this collaboration from the cloud services, so the conferencing, the file sharing, messaging, and the like, but in respect of the existing environment. Be it on the communication infrastructure with the PBXs, but also in respect of the choices, the corporate choices of organizations. Maybe some enterprises have already rationalized on collaboration tools. And in this case, we can make the link and integrate with their IT environment, because we do believe that the digital transformation should not be a rip and replace of everything, and organizations who have spent a lot of money in their communication infrastructure or in their IT applications should be capable of leveraging this investment, while jumping into this the digital age with new services. And I fully concur with what Tim just said on the hybrid cloud architecture, which is for us probably the best way to go to deliver new services while protecting the investment. So first direction is on the digital workplace. The second one, I was referring in my first answer to the first question on the fact that conversations or communications should be put in context. So we need to link these conferencing collaboration services with information coming from the IT applications and business processes. To do so, we need to connect this collaborative environment with the IT application and business processes. And this is the second direction we want to pursue as far as digital edge communications are concerned. This is the connect everything, or the ability to put communication, real-time communications, at the center of the business processes, the corporate applications, and even leverage the capabilities offered by intelligent objects, because objects are also sending information which can be useful in the context of conversations, especially in emergency situations, for example. So first, digital workplace. Second, connect everything. And the third one is what Sam just elaborated on, is the ability to provide the freedom to decide on what the best cloud architecture for a given organization. Can be private for some reasons. Some enterprises don't want to go to the cloud for security, sovereignty, or whatever reasons, or because they are just not ready to do so because they didn't have completed the assessment toward the move or the shift to the cloud, so the private cloud, and we'll continue to serve customers with solutions for their private cloud. Hybrid cloud, which is what I was detailing for the digital workplace, and then the public cloud. Public cloud means everything in the cloud, including the voice switching, no longer at the PBX level, but handled at the level of the cloud, integrated with UCaaS and maybe with CPaaS, so the ability to integrate through this communication platform as a service with third-party applications. So the choice is open, and once again, this is our vision for the digital edge communications, serving organizations with solutions for the digital workplace, enabling them to connect everything, to put communications in context, leveraging either IT applications, IoT, or anything which can bring information on top of a conversation. And last but not least, to decide on the model or architecture they want to run this digital workplace and integration with business applications and IoT.
If I may complement to what Xavier just said, there is also an important topic is how the enterprise are consuming the technology. Some customers are still looking to consume the technology through a CapEx approach. Some others, they are willing to consume this service through a subscription model. And what we also see more and more is an outcome-based approach. So this is important that each vendor delivering this type of service have this capability to deliver the business model which fits into the context of the customer. This is an important point to mention.
This is important, yeah. Cloud is more than an architecture. The cloud for us at ALE, it's an architecture, of course, deciding on where you're putting the different pieces of your services and solutions, but it's also a model which is underpinning everything. We know the model CapEx versus OpEx, and and some stress on the fact that we can also have proposed models to customers whereby the benefits and the outcomes are mutually shared. So we are sharing the risk at the same time.
Exactly.
I think also, Rob, what our two colleagues have also highlighted is, for me, it's the platform, the integrative platform that unified communications and collaboration is becoming now. And then also, as Xavier was describing CPaaS and different types of integration and working together, it's more, and I think this is going to be a growing trend. There's going to be more of a focus on workflow. Previously, it used to be a phone call or an email that used to come in, but it could be a case from a ticketing case from ServiceNow, or it could be a sales integration with Salesforce or something along those lines. It's about workflow and how that will start becoming automated, or might kick off manual processes. And I think we're going to see this big shift away from all the features and functions towards more workflow. And some of that will be automated. So the sort of low value, high volume type transactional workflow may be automated by bots. There'll be some people that want to have their communications and collaborations embedded in the applications they use each day. But previously, we haven't been able to do that effectively. So I think we're going to see this big move towards workflow in the year ahead. And you need a flexible cloud-based platform with the ability to integrate and also leverage APIs to access data from other sources, and also to embed that in applications and services.
And that's a very important point. Tim, sorry, Rob, just to complement again what Tim said, it's very important for us to really bring this communication into a different type of ecosystem. You've mentioned about ServiceNow as an ITSM platform. You have the CRM. So all the platform delivering a service to the customer is very important that we bring this communication layer on top of it. We have another example with Rainbow Classroom, where, for example, we bring this collaboration into the learning management system ecosystem of our customer. So the communication arrives everywhere, and this is important that each vendor brings this layer in, no matter the solution it is.
Yeah, it's great. We've covered some great topics today. I mean, we've been talking about security, we talked about flexibility, we talked about personalization, and now workflow integration. I think that's what organizations expect, isn't it? And I think there's lots more information on this topic as well. ALE have just released a white paper that you can pick up. We'll put a link in the description on this one. But I'm afraid that's about it for today. Gentlemen, it's been fantastic talking to you again. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, team.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And that's it from us. If you've enjoyed today's session, please subscribe to UC Today News and give this video a quick share on social, as it's always appreciated. And if you're a UC fan and want to be part of this conversation, you can join us using the UC News hashtag on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And our social links are also in the description. So I'm Rob Scott from UC Today. Thanks for watching.